A lot of people write me saying, Samson, I want to learn data science, I want to get into the field, I want to become a data scientist, but oftentimes they don't even know how to start. I know that there are a lot of courses out there that you can take, videos that you can watch, YouTube videos, and there's a lot of things that you can actually learn from. But the problem I've seen that people actually encounter is the fact that they don't know what courses should they take first, which one should they take next, what should their learning strategy be, how should they really go about learning data science. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I learned data science, how I was able to get into the field after my master's, and since of course I know that the end goal for a lot of people is really to be able to get a job with whatever they want to learn, I'm also going to be sharing with you tips on how you can get a job, how you should prepare yourself to get a job after learning your data science, finishing your data science curriculum. So get ready and let's go. For those who don't know me, my name is Samson. I work as a data scientist and I currently lead a data science team at a mobility startup in Berlin, Germany. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, like this video so that the YouTube algorithm can show you to many other people, and I'll be very, very happy about that. Let's start from here. If you want to learn data science, what are the key tech skills that you want to learn? The first one I would say is Python. Previously I would have said Python or R, but with the new trends that we see in hirings and data and in advancements in AI, LLMs and the likes, I would actually advise anyone who is just getting into the field to learn Python. You don't just want to learn Python, you don't just want to learn Python just for learning Python, because Python is a very vast language. It's used, for example, in software engineering, in game development, etc. What you want to learn is you want to learn Python for data science, and so you want to really get yourself on a curriculum that introduces Python to you in such a way that it's a tool for you to be able to work on data science problems. So in these cases, you want to learn use libraries like pandas, numpy, scikit-learn, and the likes, and that's why you need a structure. In my case, I used DataQuest, and that structure came with learning Python from DataQuest. I like the fact that it has a Python for data science track, so it takes you literally from how to do additions in Python, like how to type 2 + 2 in Python if you've never used Python before, and it then builds you from there up until the time where you are able to write even more complex things in Python, like for loops, dictionary, understand how dictionaries work, understand group by statement in pandas, for example, and a lot more complex things. And the interesting thing that I like about that, about the course on DataQuest, is the fact that you can do all of this on your browser, so you don't have to first of all struggle with having to install Python on your computer, Anaconda and all the likes. You first of all learn to really familiarize yourself with the language, and then with time you can then go through the stress and the ordeal of having to get Python on your computer. I know that I talked about DataQuest now, but DataCamp is also a very similar one, and I think they have the same structure. And I also really do like the fact that both of them, both DataQuest and DataCamp, are very hands-on, so you can check that out for you to be able to learn Python. The next skill you want to learn is SQL. So SQL, or structured query language like it's called, is a very important tool for every data scientist to master. When you work in a company, your company will typically have your data in a database, or in a database, and you want to write queries. You use SQL, which is the language now, to actually query those databases to be able to get data sets out, because you can think about the fact that even your role is called a data scientist role, so you need data to actually get your job done. So without you being able to use SQL to query into databases to get data and to be able to answer business problems, you most likely would not be effective in, or you wouldn't even be able to do what you've been employed to do. to learn SQL, I would recommend that you start with simple courses that can explain the basic syntax, like select, from, where, limit, to you. Then you feel comfortable, and then you can take more intermediate or advanced level SQL courses that can help you to understand the language. So that really learning to take it simple from basic ones, then to complex one, I think is very important here. So not just you jumping on any SQL course that you find online. I started with the Data Quest SQL track, and then I took a more intermediate physical class actually in SQL. So it was very good for me because I had my teacher there, and then I could ask questions directly. I can recommend this SQL Basics for Data Science, and I'm going to put now up for Data Science Specialization course on Coursera. I think I went through it, and I think it's very good, and I can recommend it. Today, when I need to do like a quick refresh generally of the basic syntax, maybe I forget something, I like to use W3 schools. I like the fact that they can introduce quick things to you, explain something quickly, and then also show you an example, and you can run that example also in your browser. So that could be also something you can use alongside to refresh your memory while you take those courses. So now we've talked about Python, you've talked about SQL. You'll ask me, is that all? No, that's not all. But before we move to the next segment, where I really show you what are the methodologies you want to use this skill to do, something important that I've seen is the fact that right now getting to the field is a little bit expensive. So you see a lot of courses ranging into thousands of euros, boot camps and the likes. I have a video that I'm gonna link up here that you can check out, where I explained how you can learn data science on a budget. So if you don't have all the money in the world, what specific courses can you take to really be able to build yourself a structure and have a pattern, and not really miss out, and still be very ready for the job market, like somebody who has paid thousands of euros or thousands of dollars. So check that out. Now moving on, so now we have learned SQL, we have learned Python, we have learned SQL for data science, we have also learned Python for data science. One thing that you then need to then build on top of those are the methodologies in data science. Important that you think about SQL and Python as tools, and these methodologies are sort of the kind of problems you will be solving. Now, the first concept you want to learn is machine learning. What is machine learning? Machine learning models, supervised and unsupervised learning, how to build an ML pipeline, training an ML model, predictions, evaluations, moving your machine learning model that you've built to production. For this, I took the Andrew Ng's courses on machine learning then, and I would really recommend you do the same. One thing about these courses is the fact that it really explains to you the mathematical intuition behind all of these machine learning models, explains to you the basics, which usually if you're just starting out and you want to get into an interview, or you are in an interview, you most likely be asked the basics. Do you understand how these models work? Do you understand how you plug this in there and how you plug that in there to be able to pass your interview? So that's why I would recommend you taking Andrew Ng's course. Is one of the fathers of machine learning, and he really explained the courses well, and also even take you to the point where you even hard code some of these models yourself, and you can really learn how exactly they work. Now, the key thing when you're learning machine learning is to get your hands dirty. You need to practice. You need to think about the fact that on the long run, you are going to be alone on your job, or if you're a junior data scientist, you are going to be there with minimal help to be able to do all of this. So practice, build models, iterate again and again over how all of this methodology, how machine learning works, how you can take data and you can build a machine learning model. Now, the second methodology that you want to learn how to do is visualizations. In your data science pipeline, as a data scientist, which you will build often, is something called exploratory data analysis, which is basically you getting to familiarize yourself with the data, you getting to understand how your data looks like, and so you want to really master this as well. Visualization libraries with Python, like Matplotlib, Plotly, Seaborn. You want to learn learn all of those as well. And that's why, remember, we talked about you understanding how to use Python, and this is where you then use those skills that you learned earlier to actually learn these methodologies. You might also want to learn a visualization tool like Tableau or Power BI, or maybe even just Looker Studio. And learning all of this will really make you stand out. I know that data analysts tend to learn more about Power BI and Tableau than data scientists, but it's good that a data scientist can also use those tools, because if you can plug that into your data science pipeline, then it also even helps you to stand out even better. Now, an extra thing that you can learn aside from learning machine learning and learning visualizations is deep learning. I also learned deep learning when I was learning data science. You want to learn about deep learning, neural networks, how they work. Now, with the advancements that we have in AI, now you want to learn about transformers, LLMs, and the likes, like how to build a simple lang chain app and the likes. Now, once again, I would recommend that you take this introduction to deep learning Python course on DataCamp. It's good. I like the fact that it also takes you just from ground zero, basic explanations, up to the fact that you can then understand what exactly is happening in the field. I think learning deep learning will give you that extra edge. Now, having learned all of this, by now you're no longer a novice. You've learned Python, SQL, you can query data from a database, you've learned Python, and you understand exactly the methodologies you can use with that language, machine learning, visualizations, also deep learning as well. Now, how do you then get a job? As someone who has been involved with hiring people, who has been involved in hiring data professionals a couple of times, I have 2 tips actually to share with you that I think will help you to get your first data role, having learned all of the things that you have learned. The first thing I can tell you is to build projects. There is really nothing that helps you to stand out in your job applications like projects. I mean, good projects. What I want to see is, if I am hiring you, for example, what I want to see is not that you tell me, oh, Samson, look, I have done this certification, or I have this certificate, or I've taken this course on DataCamp. I want you to show me with your project that you can do it, not just that you've learned something. So with the project is to show your skill, and I often advise people to work on projects that they love, projects that they tend to like themselves. I think that when you work on something that you like, when you come into the interview, it becomes like a discussion and not really a back and forth answer question. And so projects would really showcase your skills. On this channel, we'll build a couple of projects, like for example, we built a Streamlit app that shows data visualization, which you can check out here. We also have a different machine learning app, which we also built like a typical portfolio project. In fact, it was the project that I built to get my first data role as a data scientist. You can also check that up here, so you can follow all of that. I would like that you don't just copy the codes, really bring in your own ideas, make them better, and then put them on your CV, and I promise you they would help you to stand out. The second tip that I have for you, if you're just trying to get your first data role, is to, if possible, build experience. I know that sounds counterintuitive, like how can I build experience without having a job? In this video up here, I explain how you can build experience without having a job. Make sure you check it out, and I'll see you in the next one.